So the growth is the part that you can't have for 5 years.
When it comes to contributions.
Right.
When it comes to contributions. And the 5-year clock starts with the first dollar that hits the first Roth. Jason writes in. It's Jason.
Yeah.
You don't know where he's from?
Oh, yeah.
He didn't say.
All right. Hello.
He's lucky to live in Colorado. That's where he's from.
Oh, see, I guess Andy didn't read. I drive a 2004 Subaru, drink sour beers, and have a mutt. Lucky to live in Colorado. So this is Jason from Colorado.
Yes.
Sour beers.
Right. You like sour beers?
No, I don't know what that is.
I have very rarely had them. I can't say that I like them. I like regular beer.
What is a sour beer?
I don't know. It's a more sour. It's more sour taste.
You take a beer and sweet and sour mix or something?
Something. I don't know. I don't know how they make
like
it.
a whiskey sour?
It's not my. I don't like it.
Got it.
It's an intentionally acidic, tart, or sour taste. They're actually brewed that way. Traditional sour beer styles include Belgian lambics. Really, one of my favorite beers is a Belgian lambic, and it is not sour. So I don't know.
Maybe you like sours and don't know it.
Maybe that's it.
Love the show. I have an existing Roth open in 2020. I'll be 59 and a half in 2026. So 5-year rule in 59 and a half will be satisfied whenever I get around to using the funds after that time. No need for them for the foreseeable future. I've heard you mention that each conversion has its own 5-year clock if I'm over 59 and a half. Does that mean that if I want to convert stock in a down market, now that I need to open a new Roth IRA, and if I want to do more next year, I need a third, and so on? Or can I just convert all of it into the existing Roth? If the answer is the former, separate Roths, can I consolidate them as they each hit the 5-year mark? Thank you. Okay. So 5-year clock again here, Big Al.
I know you love this, and it is complicated, and we probably answered this question about every 4th episode.
Sure.
Nevertheless, it comes up a lot because it's so hard to understand.
So there's 2 5-year clocks.
That's right. See how you do. You're really good at this. You're better than I am, so go for it.
All right. There's a 5-year clock in regards to Roth IRA contributions.
Okay.
So let's say if you're under 59 and a half and over 59 and a half. Let's just start there.
Yeah, I like the differentiation.
Okay. So if you are under 59 and a half.
All right, what happens?
You have to have the earnings season in the Roth IRA for 5 years or until you turn 59 and a half.
Whichever's longer.
Right?
That's for the earnings part.
So if you do a conversion at 59, right, you have to wait 5 years for those earnings to come out tax-free. 5 years or 59 and a half, whichever's longer.
Right.
Does that all make sense?
Yeah. If that's your first Roth
IRA. If that's your first,
ever.
Yes.
Let's start there too.
So if you've never established a Roth IRA and you're 59 years old, you have to wait 5 years to get the earnings out tax-free. However, the contributions are 100% tax-free with FIFO tax treatment. Whatever you put in, you can always take out. No harm, no foul, no matter what age.
On a conversion or contribution?
Contribution.
Okay, I agree with that.
Okay. So once again, contributions. 59 and a half. Or 5 years, whichever's longer, to get the earnings out of the Roth IRA tax-free. If you've never established a Roth IRA before, the 5-year clock starts on January 1st, the date that you contribute to, or the year that you contribute to the Roth IRA.
Okay, so I'm 30 years old. I contribute to my IRA, a Roth IRA, I should say.
Yes.
In December.
Okay.
Right. So my clock starts on January 1st of that year.
Correct.
I did a $3,000 contribution.
Yes.
6 months later, Armageddon. I need that money.
Correct.
So I can pull the $3,000 out, no penalty, even though I'm 30. I'm not 59 and a half.
That is correct.
But the 3,000 grew to 3,300.
Correct.
I can't take that 3,000 out. I can, but then I have to pay taxes and
300.
The 300. 300. The $300, I can take it out, but I have to pay income taxes and a penalty.
Correct. All right.
So the growth is the part that you can't have for 5 years.
When it comes to contributions.
Right.
When it comes to contributions. And the 5-year clock starts with the first dollar that hits the first Roth. So if he's continuing to make contributions, you don't open up separate Roth IRAs.
Right. And so that's one thing. So in terms of Roth IRA, if you have 100 Roths, it's counted as one. That's the aggregation rule. So you don't need 100 Roths. The first one, you got 6 of them. It's just like you have one. It doesn't matter.
So conversions have a different 5-year clock. The conversion is each conversion that you make, if you're under 59 and a half, okay, is that each conversion would have its own 5-year clock on the conversion amount.
So on the principal, on the conversion.
Correct. Because if I do a Roth conversion, that means I'm paying the tax on the money that I convert. And so let's say I'm 50 years old and I do a Roth conversion of $10,000. I pay the tax on the $10,000. Now I have this Roth conversion of 10 grand. And then 3 months later, Armageddon hits and I need the 10,000, right? And I pull the 10,000 out of the Roth IRA. Well, the Roth IRA rules say that it's FIFO tax treatment, first in, first out, because I've already paid taxes on the money.
Yeah.
So then I take the $10,000 out, but I'm 50. So what did I avoid?
Well, you didn't avoid the penalty.
Right. I avoided the penalty if that were the rules, right?
Yeah.
So the IRS, because this is how the rules were, right? And then they were like, hey, you know what? People are avoiding the premature penalty of the 10% penalty by taking the money out prior to 59 and a half.
Right.
Because they could just convert the money, pay the tax, and then pull it out the next day and avoid it.
Oh, look, I got away with the penalty.
Yes. So they're like, you can't do that. So now there's a 5-year clock on the conversion if you're under 59 and a half. So each conversion that you make, if you're under 59 and a half, have its own 5-year clock until you turn 59 and a half.
And then all of a sudden, there's no 5-year clocks anymore for conversions.
Correct.
On the amount converted.
Then there all of a sudden the 5-year clock on it disappears. And let's say you did the contribution 10 years ago. Well, your 5-year clock now, if you're over 59 and a half, is already satisfied by the first dollar that hit into the contribution 10 years ago.
That's true.
So.
Okay. So Jason says he's going to be 59 and a half in 2026. Okay. He wants to know if he needs to continue opening new Roths for every conversion. So the answer there is no.
No.
He'll just continue to convert. If he wants to pull the money out prior to 59 and a half, then that's where he's going to have the issues. But he says he doesn't need the money, so don't worry about it.
Yeah. So after 59 and a half, the only 5-year clock is if you didn't have any Roth for 5 years, now you got to wait 5 years till your first Roth. And it goes back to the January 1st of the year you did the first conversion or contribution, right? So you got to wait for that period to get the earnings. You can always take the principal out, which after 59 and a half is either your contribution or your conversion.
And how the IRS looks at this is that what comes out first is going to be FIFO from contributions. Then it's the conversion amount. Then it's the earnings on the contributions. Then it's the earnings on the conversions. So it's 4 tiers. And I have no idea how they're going to calculate this, but that's what it states in the old rule book.
Are you prepared for retirement? Schedule a free financial assessment with an experienced financial professional right online at purefinancial.com.